Hello, my name's Ed McKee, manager of Outdoor Horticulture here at Frederik Meijer Gardens and Sculpture Park, and today we're in the brisk fall weather here at the Michigan Farm Garden. And we're going to talk a little bit about preparing your garden for winter. First thing I like to do before I start to actually get into the nitty-gritty of cleaning up the garden is break out the garden journal, and I've kind of made some notes about what I want to do for spring and through the next season. And I like to talk about in the journal what worked well, what didn't work well, so I have some notes that I can look at. A lot of garden catalogs start coming in this time of year, seed catalogs, garden catalogs, and you want some notes, or at least I like to have some notes that I can refer to as I'm putting in orders, looking at plans, looking at new designs, trying to remember what did well and what didn't. So that's one of the first things I do. After that's done, we really start to look at what I like to call the 3 C's of garden cleanup, which is the cut, the clean, and the cover. So I like to use just a regular hedge pruner to get in and prune my perennials. And usually I'll get in and look around. For example, a lot of these daylilies are past their prime at this point and they're ready to be pruned down. So you want to look around and see what's out there. You don't want to absolutely cut everything down in the fall. You want to leave some things like ornamental grasses, the echinaceas, and a lot of things that have some neat seed heads, and wisps of grasses are always nice to keep as well. You don't want everything to be cut down flat in the garden. And then I assess too a lot of the annuals, like this salvia is an annual that can be tore out, and all of these items are compostable. So I just usually get in there with my hedge shears and start to prune, usually about 2 to 4 inches above the ground, and just start to cut those off. And like I said, all this can go into compost. I like to put it in my trusty bag here, and it'll later be thrown in the compost pile. But it's very simple to do that. Just trim them off and pull them out. All right, so once you've cut a lot of your herbaceous perennial material down, you want to clean it up, and that's really the next C in our equation, is to clean. So what we're going to do is just pull all of this dead material and dormant material out of the bed. And in this particular case, for these types of plants, all of this material is compostable. So I usually just put that aside. Now you do want to be careful if you find that you've got some diseased foliage or something like that that doesn't quite look right. Err on the side of caution and get rid of that stuff, and certainly don't put that in your compost pile. Now that we've got everything cut down and pretty much cleaned up, I just want to remind everybody that now's the time, if you see some annual or perennial weeds in the bed, to go ahead and grab your hori-hori, which I like to use, and just dig those out of the ground now and get them right out of there. And then you can notice also that I haven't taken out my leaf rake and raked everything out of the bed, because it's not going to hurt the bed, and it's just going to add some extra nutrients as the leaves break down to the soil to leave some of the fallen leaves. So I always like to do that. I like to use a good mix of bark mulch and organic material in my mulch mixture, and that's exactly what this is. And for the winter, I like to put a good 2 to 3 inches down over the bed. And you can spread this right over your perennial plantings as well. And this helps to insulate the bed, and it helps to stave off any temperature increases or temperature decreases that are sudden during the winter season. So I just like to spread this over the bed very simply. And then we'll just come back in and move it around a little bit and spread it out to about a 2-inch depth in the garden. So those are really the finer points of the cut, cover, and clean for your garden prep going into winter.